Alright, so on this episode of Uncle Ed's Bargain Bin Gamble, we're going to do something a little different. Usually I'm digging around that $5 range, $3.99, $4.99, $5. That's been the lane. But this one we stepped out of that $5 range. Today, we're talking about Terminator Resistance Enhanced on PlayStation 5. I caught this game on sale for $12.49. So no, it's not one of those I paid $5, let's see what happens type of situations. This is the first bargain bin gamble where the question changes a little bit. It's no longer, is this worth $5? Now the question is this older game worth the real sale money? And after playing it, yeah, this one surprised me. Now this game was already kind of on my radar because the same studio behind this also worked on RoboCop Rogue City. And RoboCop was actually the first game I bought when I got my PS5. I ain't finished RoboCop, I kind of fell off of it, but after playing Terminator Resistance, we're going to get back to RoboCop and give it another shot. Because now I understand what this studio is good at. They might not be making the flashiest games in the world, It's not a big AAA blockbuster. But what they do seem to understand is atmosphere. They understand the source material. They understand how to make you feel like you're actually inside that world. And Terminator Resistance does that right away. So you play as Jacob Rivers, a soldier fighting in the future war after Judgment Day. So this is not bright, happy, heroic action from the jump. This is humanity already getting crushed. Skynet is running things. Machines are wiping people out. The resistance is just trying to survive. And when this game starts, it makes something very clear. You're not the hero. You know what I'm saying? You're not just running through Terminators like some action movie superhero. You the fool. You know what I'm saying? You're just a roach. You were something, the machines can step on you if you move wrong. And I like that. The opening of the game puts you in that mindset immediately. You are underpowered, you are outmatched, you are trying to survive against machines that are way stronger than you. Early on, your weapons almost feel disrespectful, Like, what am I supposed to do with this pea shooter against a Terminator? And that's what made the game work for me. Because this is a first-person shooter, it's not just mindless run and gun, shooting from the beginning. There's some stealth elements involved here. You have to move carefully. You have to avoid patrols. You have to think about when to fight and when to keep it moving. And that makes sense because, you're dealing with Terminators. If you know the movie, especially if you watched them as a kid, you already know what a Terminator is supposed to feel like. It's not supposed to be like just everyday enemies in your everyday shooter, Terminators are supposed to be a problem. And early in this game, they definitely a problem. That's what I appreciated. The game actually sends you through a progression. In the beginning, you feel weak. You feel like the machines own the world and you're just trying to sneak through it. But as the game goes on, you level up. You get better weapons. You start using better technology. You start hacking Skynet equipment. You start building yourself into somebody who can actually fight back. And by the time you're later in the game, now you're just not hiding anymore. Now you can get into a shootout. Now you can stand there and trade fire with Terminators. And that change feels good because the game earned it. It didn't just hand you the power right away. It made you feel helpless at first and then slowly let you become dangerous. Now that's good game design. The controls are straightforward. If you've played first-person shooters before, there's not much to learn here. One stick moves, one stick looks. One trigger aims, one trigger shoots. You already know the language, but the game adds enough extra stuff to keep it from feeling too basic. You can hack machines, you can throw grenades, you can use different abilities and boosts. Improve your endurance, you can slow down time. There's lots of little systems in here that gives the game some flavor without making it too complicated. And then there's this little hacking mini game, It's like Frogger. You're trying to move across the board while avoiding these moving blocks. It's not the deepest thing in the world, but it breaks things up and gives you something else to do besides just shooting. Now let's be honest. This is not the most polished shooter you've ever played. You know what I'm saying? This is not Call of Duty money. This isn't Cyberpunk. This isn't some huge blockbuster production with unlimited budget. But what this game has is something a lot of bigger games don't have. It understands why people like the Terminator. It understands the sound, the mood, the fear of the machines, the broken down future, the resistance trying to survive, and that feeling that humanity is outmatched but refusing to lay down. That's the part that hooked me. Yo, if you've seen the Terminator movies as a kid and now you're a grown man gaming, yo, this hits different. You're not just playing a random shooter with robots. You're stepping into the future war you saw a glimpse of in the movies. And the enhanced edition on PS5 gives you another bonus too. It's called Infiltrator mode. In that mode, you actually get to play as a Terminator. That right there is worth talking about. You go from being the hunted to being the hunter. You moving through resistance camps, destroying food supplies, raiding weapon caches, completing objectives, and taking out the human resistance. Honestly, yo, that was a dope addition because it flips the whole feeling of the game. In the main story, you understand why people are terrified of these machines. But in Infiltrator mode, you become the reason they're terrified. Yo, that's dope. Story-wise, if you care about the Terminator universe, there's enough here to keep you locked in. You get the future war setting, you get Skynet, you get the resistance, you even get John Connor. You know what I'm saying? You get time travel elements. It feels connected to the Terminator instead of just, somebody slapping the Terminator name on a game for a quick cash grab. And that matters because there's a lot of licensed games that just don't work, you know what I'm saying? But this one feels like it actually cares about the material. Now, when I tell everybody to run out and pay full price, that depends. You know what I'm saying? If you do not care about Terminator at all, and you're just looking for a good first-person shooter, this might not hit the same way for you. But if you like shooters, sci-fi, and you watch the Terminator movies as a kid or even as an adult, you know what I'm saying, this game will kind of let you follow in, the story, put you in that atmosphere. So yes, absolutely yes. But at $12.50, yo, this was a steal. And that's important because this is our first bargain bin gamble outside that $5 range. So the bar is different. Once we move past $5, I need more. I need the game to give me a reason. I need to feel like that extra money was justified. And Terminator Resistance Enhanced justified it. This was not a disappointment. This was one of those games where I went in curious and came out saying, yeah, I see why people call this game underrated. It's not perfect, you know what I'm saying? It's not the prettiest. It's definitely not the biggest. But it knows exactly what it's trying to be. And for me, that worked. So what's the verdict? Terminator Resistance Enhanced is bargain bin certified, even outside that $5 range. If you see this thing on sale for the $12.50, you know what I'm saying, that I got it for, and you like the Terminator world, you should definitely pick it up. Don't overthink it. This is grown man gaming right here, yo. Uncle Ed approved. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tune in for the next episode.